Hey, welcome back to my channel. So getting straight into this video, we are going to put on this closure and draw our guidelines. I will be using a 5x5 closure from my vendor. This is a transparent lace. If you are looking for a hair vendor, I will link my hair vendor in the description box so you can purchase that. What I'm going to do is pull the closure right in front of the cap. I don't have an exact estimate, but barely, like just a little bit, like you see. And then once I do that, I'm going to pin the front so it doesn't move, and then I'm going to pin the back, and then I'm going to pin the corners, and then I'm going to pin the sides. You want to make sure that the closure is flat, because if you don't have it flat, your wig won't be flat. So just make sure your closure is flat. It can take some time to get used to sewing it on, especially a 5x5 or a 6x6 or even a 7x7. So just take your time and try to master that. And then once we get all of our corners down with our T-pins, I'm just going back in and make sure everything is straight and flat. I'm going to start sewing down my closure. And this is how I sew. If you want an in-depth sewing tutorial, I can do that for you. Just let me know. But we are just going to sew down our closure all the way around. And when you are sewing, remember to make sure the stitches are close, but not too close, but also not too far apart. I would say about 1 centimeter apart, just to make sure the closure is flat. So once I get to the end, I make sure that I double knot my needle and thread to make sure that knot is secure. Then I cut that extra thread, and now we are going to do our guidelines. I'm taking my measuring tape and I am T-pinning it onto my dome head. Yes, I use a measuring tape because I want my lines nice and spread evenly. Especially if you are a beginner, I would highly suggest that you use the tape measure. And we are going to draw a line in every inch that you see. Make sure to use the inch side. And just a friendly tip that the more lines you have, the more the cap is going to shrink. I know we hear a lot about the cap isn't supposed to shrink. The cap is going to shrink. The more you sew, the more that cap is going to shrink. So I would highly suggest each of your lines being at least an inch apart, if not more, but at least an inch apart, so you can keep that size of your cap. Now, once I do that, I'm going to take my tape measure out, and then I'm just going to connect those lines that I just drew onto my cap. And then once you get to the sides of your cap, you want to make sure that your lines are kind of slanted going down, not up, because if you do it up, once you get to the top, you won't have anywhere to draw your lines at the top. So as you can see, my lines are kind of slanted. This is what you want. So make sure that you keep that in mind. As far as your lines, they don't have to be straight, but I like mine to be straight because depending on the lines that you draw will determine how the inside of your cap looks. So I would suggest you make them as straight as you can, but not like picture perfect, because of course, yeah. Also, you will have to have a steady hand, because when I first started drawing guidelines, y'all, my hands was shaking and everything, so it wasn't going good. But practice over time, and this is how your guidelines will look. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you are wanting a full video on wig construction, I will put the link in my bio, and see you in my next video.